Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. In today's tutorial, I'm going to show you how to create your first Amazon EC2 instance on AWS. So if you're new to my cloud computing on AWS, or if you're new to cloud computing on AWS, so don't worry, I will walk you through this step-by-step process on how to create an EC2 instance. So by the end of this video, you will have a running virtual machine ready to use for your applications. So grab your coffee and let's dive in. So first, you have to navigate to the AWS side, which is Amazon. Sign into awsamazon.com. You have this link in the description. You have to navigate to the site. And next, you need to, if you don't have an AWS account, you need to click on create an AWS account. So I'm going to be attaching the video on how to create an AWS account, which have been made available for you in my YouTube channel, okay? So if you don't have an AWS account and you don't know how to create one, just go to the description of this video and you're going to see how to create an AWS account. And if you have an AWS account and you just have to sign in, so you click on sign in. And what will you do next? You're going to click on login with your credentials, okay? So it brings me straight because I already signed in, right? So this is what it's going to look like. You choose on root user, you will put your email, and once you put your email, it might ask your security check, right? After your security check, it's going to ask for your password and you log in, okay? So my account was already logged in. So now, first, head to AWS Amazon, as we said. You log in into your account. If you don't have you, create a new account. So you get, it's free to get started, right? You'll get access to the AWS free tier for beginners. So for all beginners, you have an AWS free tier for beginners, okay? So next, we are already now in AWS, right? So this is my console. This is my AWS home. So once you have logged in into your account, search for EC2. So mine, you will see I recently visited this site, okay? So search for EC2. So once you have searched for EC2, you're going to see virtual servers in the cloud, okay? You click on EC2 and you open. So now you're going to see the EC2 dashboard, okay? You're going to see the EC2 dashboard. Now, make sure you're launching your EC2 instance maybe in a region that is closer to you, okay? So for me, I'm using Europe, okay? So I'm using EU Node 1. Let's say you're United States, you're closer to Virginia, you can use US East 1, okay? If you're in Asia, maybe you're close to Mumbai, you can use AP South 1. So make sure you're choosing the region which is closer to where you're located, okay? So what I'm going to be doing now is launching the instance. So we are going to be launching the instance. How do we launch the instance? We click on instance. And here on the right part of your screen, you're going to see what it says, launch instance. So we're going to click on launch instance. Let's call it something like my first instance. So you head to the name. We're going to call it something like my first instance. My first instance. My first instance. And you scroll down. Now we need what we call AMI. It's called Amazon image. So since we are using a free tier, we are going to be choosing Amazon Linux. So you might want to create using maybe Windows, maybe Ubuntu, maybe Red Hat or MacOS. So we're going to be going with the free tier, right? So you don't spend no money in this video, okay? So We are going to go for Amazon Linux. You can still create for Red Hat. You can still create for Ubuntu, MacOS, or Windows. All depends on you, okay? And you can create a lot of instances. So on the right part of your screen, you see number of instances you want to create. We're creating just one. Maybe you want to create 5. Maybe you want to create 10. Maybe you want to create just one, okay? And now here you're going to see the software image, like the AMI image. Okay, perfect. And now, once you've choose the image, we have choose Amazon image. So you're going to head next to what we call to the instant type, okay? So the instant type, we're having, there are a lot of instant type, right? You can have T3 micro, you can have T3 small, T3 medium, T3 large. So there are a lot of size. So you can, the size should depend on what you want to do. So according to the size, you notice that we have for T3X large, we have 4 CPU, virtual CPUs, 16 gigabyte of memory. And so per the size, right? T3 large, we have just 8 gigabytes. So make sure you choose the size that fits your project, right? So we're going to be going just for T3 micro. So here you can see it says free tier eligible. So I'm trying to make you not to spend any dime for this video, okay? So next, what we are going to do now is we are going to be creating our key pair. You know, you need to maybe connect to this virtual server or this EC2 instance to a client, maybe to a client like Mobile Extend, maybe VS Code. This is Visual Studio Code. Maybe you want to connect it to your VS Code. You want to connect to your Mobile Extend. You want to connect to any client. So it might be very important and wise for you to create a key pair, like a key which you use to log in, right? So we're going to be creating a .pem key. We're going to give our key name, my first instance, something like my first instance. And we're choosing RSA, which is encrypted private and public key pair. And it's going to be .pem, okay? And once you create this key, it's going to download to your system. So it have downloaded this key. You can see the key, right? My first instance .pem, that's the name of my key. Take note. You should take note of that, right? So mine has gone to my download. If I go to my downloads, I click on downloads rapidly. You can see the key, right? My first instant.pem. That's the key. My first instant.pem. It has gone to my download. So make sure you know where it has gone to. And next, we're going to be coming to the section where it says VPC. Okay. So this is the next stage, VPC. This video is for beginners. Okay. So for VPC, you're going to stick with your default VPC, right? Professionals obviously will be using the company's VPC or the VPC that I've created. So we're going to also be having a video on how to set up your VPC, your subnet, your route tables, and all that. So here you'll be seeing how to set up, like, to use the default network policy, right? So here we're using default VPC, default network, auto assign public IP and everything. And now, next, we are going to be configuring our security group. So we're going to create a new security group and we're going to add a rule to allow SSH. So if you don't allow SSH, let's say SSH, which is port 22, you won't be able to connect your new virtual server, maybe to a client like Mobile Extend or VS Code or any client, okay? So we're choosing allow SSH traffic, just SSH. And your security group, you can come and you can edit your security group as time goes. For example, you can allow HTTP traffic from the internet, allow HTTP from the internet when you would have done your project, okay? So now let's set up a security group. So think of this as a firewall for your instance, right? This security group, you have to think of it as a firewall for your instance. So create a new security group, add the rule to allow SSH access on port 22. So now let's do that. So we have already choose create security group, allow SSH traffic. You're going to see from anywhere, right? We can choose, for example, from custom IP, we'll choose the IP or your IP. So meaning just you on your computer, you can access this EC2 instance, right? But now I want to allow it from anywhere. We can send this EC2 instance to anybody and they can access it, right? Or I can just choose my IP, meaning just on my IP, I can access this EC2 instance. So I've given you a lot of content already in this video, which permits you to understand how to set up an EC2 instance with ease. So we have our storage. This is the default storage we're going to be having. So feature eligible customers can get up to 30 GB of EBS storage, okay? So you can add more storage if you're willing to pay, okay? You can add more storage. And I'm going to be showing you again on advanced details. On advanced details here, what will you be having? You might be having an instant profile. An instant profile. This is not really important for you just starting. You might have an instant profile. You might decide to do what we call bootstrap. Bootstrap. Like you want to add maybe your application, let's say an HTTP application or an Nginx application. You can just put the script here and it's going to bootstrap for you. It's going to launch the instance while launching your scripts. Okay. So what we're going to do now is we're going to click on launch instance. So now we're launching our EC2 instance. So make sure you have reviewed your setting, make sure everything looks good, then click launch instance. So AWS will always create or use an existing key pair. For now, we are just creating key pair and we have downloaded it, okay? So next, we're going to go back now. We're going to go back to our EC2 dashboard and locate the running instance, okay? So we're going to go back to this instance. And now, can you see the instance? My first instance. So it is running, right? It's a T3 instance. So it's still initializing, okay? But we're going to click on this instance to see, right? So this is your first instance. Congratulations if you have created your first instance. This is your first virtual instance created on AWS, virtual private instance created on AWS, virtual machine. We have a public IP assigned to us, a private IP, okay? And we have a VPC, we have a subnet. You can click on all of this, right, to see the default VPC and default subnets. And now we have the EMI which we use, which was Linux. We have our key pair, which is called my first instance. And if you want to check about the security, now you're going to see we have a security group. I told you about port 22, right? We have a security group that allows inbound traffic for port 22, okay? So you can add more security. To edit your security group, just need to click here. If there are more rules you want to add, you can just click edit inbound rules. And that's it. You click on add rule. You can add maybe custom TCP. You can, so all will depend. Maybe you can add all traffic, you can add whatsoever, HTTPS, HTTP, UDP, you can add all of that, okay, depending on your project. So that'll be another video on how to add or edit inbound rules and outbound rules based on our project, right? So our security check has passed, right? 3 on 3. So now that we have created, we now have our instance that is running, as we can all see. And now we have to connect, okay? So you now have your very own virtual machine running on AWS. So congratulations. So now, how are we going to connect? We click on connect, and once we have clicked on connect, we're going to click on SSH client. SSH client. And for me, I will just copy this, okay? I'll just copy this. So now, for Mac users, I click on Jenkins server. Let me click on my first instance. Sorry, I click on Jenkins server, connect, okay? So for Mac users, make sure you follow this, okay? It says open SSH client. This is my SSH client. I'm opening it. So please ignore all of this, disregard this. I'll open a new VS Code. New window. This is my SSH client, okay? Perfect. New terminal. Perfect. So this is my SSH client, okay? I'm going to head to download. CD, I'm going to head to download. I think I'm having, okay. Let me clear my screen, Control L. I'm going to head to downloads. So you have to be in downloads, right? Why do you need to be in download using VS Code? Because your key is found in download. So once I'm in download, I'm just going to run this command, right? Connect my EC2 instance. I'm just going to copy the SSH-I, my first instance, and I'm going to be connected. But for Mac users, make sure you run throw mode 400 so that make sure you follow that, okay? You follow these steps before connecting. Make sure you follow that before connecting, okay? So I'm going to head to connect now, my instance. Now it says the key is not known by any other names. I shall want to continue. Yes. Perfect. So now my instance is connected. So now you can see my instance, right? EC2 instance, you see the IP 173.120.151. So this is my instance, which is connected. So this is my Amazon Linux server that has been created and connected. So, and that is it. You have successfully launched and connected your first EC2 instance on AWS. So I hope this tutorial was helpful. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe for more beginners-friendly tutorials like this one. And thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.